regular season is winding down for the Boston Celtics, which means it's time to talk playoff scenarios. Here at TD Garden, I'm Sierra Gabriel, joined by Jimmy Toscano and Nick Gelso. There is still so much that can happen here. Right now, the Celtics sit in that 5th spot, but only 2 games separate them from 4th and 3rd, which right now is the Sixers and the Pacers. But they still could fall to that 6th spot. So there's so many scenarios to talk about. But right off the bat, it looks like they're probably going to face either Philadelphia or Indiana. And to you, what is the optimal matchup for the Celtics?
If I had to pick, I mean, I want Philly because that's so much fun to watch. That's the best, for my money, that's the best basketball rivalry right now. I can't think of a better one than Celtics. Sixers. There's a lot of animosity between the two teams. The cities, I just can't stand anybody who comes from Philly. Those people, they deserve to be miserable.
Geographically, it helps too.
Picking on me and Draper.
You know what? I take that back. I like Draper.
Oh,
you
okay.
go screw for all I care. I don't really care much for you. So that being said, you know what it is? I just like those fans to be miserable. So if they can face the Celtics again in the series and lose to them again, because that's all they do is they lose to the Celtics, then that's fun. That's like fun to watch.
Non-basketball wise, it's an hour from my house. We covered, Josue and I covered the whole series on the road last year. Had a ball in Philadelphia. The confetti drop was amazing.
That was awesome,
and this leads to my point. I think in those games you kind of saw Philadelphia, especially playing the Celtics, no Gordon Hayward, no Kyrie Irving, Philadelphia mentally weak. Now they've added Jimmy Butler, and I don't know that even makes them any less mentally weak. I just like the matchup.
Ricochet.
I think the home court does not mean nearly as much against the Sixers.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that leads me into my next question, because the Celtics have proved that they can beat both of these teams. They're 3-0 against Philly this year. They've split against the Pacers. Still have 2 games left in this regular season against the Pacers and 1 coming up against Philadelphia. So, again, so much can happen in those 3, 4, 5 slots in the standings. But how much does home court matter in either of those series, since they've proved that they can win both home and on the road?
I think it matters. I don't think it's the end-all, be-all. Obviously, if you had your choice, I mean, that's you could even talk about. Of course, you want to be at home. I'm pretty impressed by the Pacers, the way they've been able to consistently win without Oladipo. I thought that they would just fall on their face and disappear and end up maybe as like a 7 or 8 seed. But here they are, currently 4. I still think the Celtics can beat either of those teams in a series, whether or not they have home court. So I don't think it's that huge for the Celtics.
If they're playing the Sixers, I don't think it's that
huge. But
also,
real quick, sorry, they also haven't shown enough to me on the road.
That's where I was going. I mean, if this road trip out west, it never happened, we'd all be talking about how piss poor they are on the road, right? And we'd be worried no matter what. So the Celtics,
well, plane rides have been good for them. So maybe
plane rides,
maybe the more road trips
together,
longer trip. So Indiana over Philly. No, I like the matchup with Philly.
But even like sorry to cut you off, but even looking past those 2 teams, like there are still those other options, right? I mean, you've got what Brooklyn.
Miami. Yeah, if the Celtics were to land in that 3 spot.
Pistons are right there too.
Yep.
So I think out of those 3, the team that doesn't scare me, but the team I'd probably want to avoid is Brooklyn. I just think they've got that like little firepower.
The type
they
of
can
team
turn it on. And they seem to really be having a lot to together. They're a team. They look like a team out there, and I just feel like that can actually sometimes be the difference.
Well, 2 thoughts to kind of wrap it up. Number 1,
you don't.
I'm not rap. I know, Sierra. You're in charge. So I know you're looking at me like, shut up, Nick. So no, but I mean, 2 thoughts, and I'm totally losing what those 2 thoughts are. So go ahead, Sierra.
Well, this Garden Report is brought to you by BetOnline.ag. Head to CLNSmedia.com/win. Enter promo code CLNS50 for 50% cash back on your first deposit. Final thoughts?
Yes, no, I know what it was.
He remembered.
So
thank God.
If in February we were sitting here talking about the Celtics possibly pole vaulting up to the 3rd seed, talking about saying we would like to see the Celtics face the Sixers in February, I don't think January maybe we'd be, but in February after that self-destructive moment, this is a good milestone. Now the last 2 weeks of the regular season are going to be, especially who they're playing, 3 weeks is going to be clutch.
Yeah, the Celtics, they've won 5 of 6. This is a different team than they were.
They're happy.
Before they went out west. So, yeah, I think to be talking about these situations is a good thing.
Yep.
But that being said, in October, we were all talking about how are they going to be the 1 seed or are they going to be the 2 seed?
So we were all saying we're
don't lose
65 wins.
They were going to the finals in everyone's mind back then. For the rest of our regular season coverage, head to CLNSmedia.com.